Grace to you and peace from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Greetings to you this day. I am coming to you to share with you some changes that we're making to our COVID protocols per the Diocesan Guidelines Phase 2D that came out about 10 days ago. Vester met last night and we adopted these guidelines, these next steps for us. Keep in mind that we have always, here at St. George, we've always taken a more conservative approach to our COVID protocols. We don't want to be the ones that are stepping out there and seeing how things work and if they work, or we'll let someone else do that. We're going to take it slow and try to keep our people as safe as possible, given the information that we know. And there's still so much about this coronavirus that is unknown. Thankfully, scientists are discovering more and more every day, and hopefully we will soon be able to look at this pandemic in our rearview mirror and remember it not so fondly, but we'll be able to remember it as a thing in the past at some point. Until then, we are just taking baby steps into whatever is our next normal. So, what you can expect this coming Sunday from us and from your staff and from the team. We will continue to clean our surfaces following services and other gatherings. We'll continue to have hand sanitizer, and there'll be wipes everywhere to use at any time for any reason. And we will have some signage that will, let you know where things are, and just some reminders about all of what I'm about to share with you. All of our employees and volunteers will follow strictly the diocesan guidelines listed under Phase 2D. And as far as our worship services and other gatherings, I know that you guys are interested in masks and what we're going to say about masks, so let's go ahead and say that now. If you are fully vaccinated, masks are optional for those individuals who have finished a 2-shot course or gotten the single vaccine, and at least 2 weeks have passed since the final vaccine. You may remove your mask while sitting indoors and while outdoors on campus. However, we are encouraging masks when you're moving around indoors, when you're 6 feet of distance, or when you're less than 6 feet of distance from someone else who is masked, whether indoors or outdoors, and when we are singing as a congregation. So we're going to encourage masks under those circumstances, but know that masks are optional for those people who have been fully vaccinated. Again, this information will be posted, so you'll be able to see that and know that. If you are not fully vaccinated, and I'm going to quote from the bishop's guidelines, if you're not fully vaccinated, masks are, quote, expected and strongly encouraged for anyone who is not fully vaccinated inside the church facilities, inside the sanctuary, inside office buildings, and at outdoor gatherings. For those of you who have children, please know that all of our child care workers and volunteers are required to wear masks when they're with your children, regardless of vaccination status. And just so that you'll also know that clergy and lay Eucharistic ministers and lectors, masks are required when we're administering communion. However, they're not required for the clergy when we're leading the liturgy, and they're not required for lay Eucharistic ministers and lectors when they're taking their part in leading the liturgy, except when 6 feet of distance cannot be maintained. So that's a word about masks. And I want to talk to you about what to expect when you come this coming Sunday at the service. So, we are no longer placing any restrictions on the number of people who can attend worship, which means that we won't be sending out the pre-registration link that you've been seeing in the e-sphere. So that will not have to be filled out anymore for Sunday services. Physical distancing is optional for those who have been vaccinated. So if you have been vaccinated and you're around other people who've been vaccinated, you can disregard the 6-foot distancing. Physical distancing is encouraged for those who are not fully vaccinated. And we encourage those who are not fully vaccinated to wear a mask when you come on campus so that we know that and so that we can provide the proper safe distance. And that's for everybody's good. Pre-screening and our check-in system, it's no longer required, as I said. And we will not be taking temperature screens anymore. The only exception to the temperature screening is that staff members will continue to have their temperature screened, and all of the children attending Sunday school classes and child care will undergo a symptom screening and a temperature scan as part of the check-in process. So if when I talk to you a little bit about when we're going to start up child care again, just know that there will be a check-in process for Sunday school and for the nursery. Now, I want to talk a little bit about fellowship and having coffee hour. We have begun to bring back some coffee service after church, and so we'll continue to do that. Informal fellowship gatherings per the diocesan guidelines may return indoors. However, we're going to continue to try to do things outdoors just because it's a little bit safer, and as I said earlier, we like to be a little bit more cautious and move a little bit more slowly in these things. So we'll provide coffee prior to and after worship. We'll have a serving station outside, just out of a continued abundance of caution. During inclement weather, which we seem to be having a lot lately, we'll have the coffee inside for you. Food will be provided when servers are available, and we will continue to not provide the sort of the self-serve open platters of food. Everything that is served will be prepackaged, and we'll try to serve it outdoors unless there's inclement weather. Child care. Child care will return effective June the 6th. So not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And so when we return to having child care, we will follow strict health and sanitation protocols. Child care staff will require frequent hand washing when a child enters the child care area after sneezing or coughing, before and after eating, and after using the restroom. Toys and other items used by a child will be placed in a cleaning container for sanitizing prior to being returned to use. Parents, if you want your child to have a snack, please provide that snack or drink, and they should be in a disposable container. Children who are 3 years of age or older should be encouraged to wear a mask. Now, what that means is we're not going to make the decision about that for you. We are going to ask you, parents who have children 3 years of age or older, to discuss wearing a mask with your child while they're in a Sunday school class or they're in childcare. And then we're going to ask you to please communicate your family's decision on the wearing of a mask in writing to the child care worker or to the Sunday school leader at time of check-in. Please know that children who have a temperature of 100 degrees or higher, or who have had COVID-19 symptoms in the previous 24 hours, we just cannot allow them into the child care area or into the Sunday school classroom, just as a precaution and a safety measure for the other children and the child care workers that are in there. Again, that is child care will return effective June 6th. Some of you know that we have been having some children's Sunday school outdoors, and that is off this weekend, but it will continue in June, on June the 6th, and all of these protocols will be asked. Just so that you know, we will be having opportunities for you to sing as a congregation, and we encourage you to do that. But know that when you're here and we're all kind of in this space together, choir members, those members of the choir who are back and singing, will continue to be carefully spaced out by their leadership. And when they sing an anthem, when they're singing an anthem, they will be wearing a special mask called a singer's mask. They've been doing that, and they will continue that practice. You know, science tells us that those who sing at a performance level, which an anthem is, tend to expel more air. And of course, we know that air carries water droplets, and the water droplets are where viruses get passed along. So we're going to continue to ask our choir to wear singer's mask while they sing the anthem, just as a precaution there. Masks are optional for those singers who are going to be singing and leading worship for those who are watching on screen. And we'll continue to do communion the way that we've been doing communion. You will have the option to have the wafer placed in the wine, intinction, and you can receive the wine by intinction. At some point in the future, we are going to move to giving you the wafer and allowing you to dip it or intinct it in the small chalice on your own. We're working towards that. Again, we work slowly as we work out our kinks and kind of figure out how to do things in the best way. So, this coming Sunday, we are going to relax our pre-registration and our check-in and our temperature screening. We are going to allow those who have been fully vaccinated and 2 weeks have passed since their final shot to remove their mask when they're seated or when they're outdoors. We're going to encourage masks at some places when you're moving, when we're all singing together, and when you can't be more than 6 feet apart from somebody else who's wearing a mask. If you're not vaccinated, we encourage you to please continue to wear your mask when you're around. That keeps you safe, it keeps others safe, potentially safe, and it also lets us know, how to respect each other's boundaries. And we will have an opportunity for you guys to sing. All this information you see will be posted in church and around church, so you can see that. If you have questions about it, we'll also probably put a copy of it in the e-sphere. You'll have a link to be able to go look at this. And this is where we are right now. What we have learned over the past few months, 15 months, is that things can change very quickly. The bishop was not thinking about having this particular set of guidelines kind of launch at this point in the ball game. But when the CDC announced what they announced about vaccines and vaccinated persons and masks, it kind of moved everything up. So we are constantly looking, we're constantly adjusting, we're constantly moving to the flow of where things are. But as I said earlier, it looks, all the numbers look good. Things are moving in the right direction. So hopefully that will, at some point, we'll be into our next normal and see where we go. Now I want to say a word about what we're actually going to do this Sunday. As you know, we haven't been together as a full body the way we were for over 15 months. And prior to the pandemic, there were people who were regulars here at St. George. Every Sunday we'd see them. We'd see them at gatherings, at potlucks, at other types of gatherings. And then COVID came, and then we could only talk to each other. And during that time, some of our folks moved into the nearer presence of the Lord. And because of COVID, we could not have a funeral in the way that we would have liked to, and we would not have had an opportunity to celebrate their lives and to be with each other and comfort each other and remember our beloved fellow members with a reception. So this Sunday, we're going to have a memorial service, a service of remembrance and special music by our choir and other musicians, and we're going to celebrate, give thanks for, and memorialize all of those who we love and see no longer, those that we've lost, those members of this parish that we've lost and have not had an opportunity to have a service for. So we're going to do that, and our reception angels will be providing a reception following the service. So at 10 o'clock, a special time to remember those who are part of our family, who are no longer with us, that we haven't seen, and an opportunity to hear our fantastic music ministry do some music. So look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. Please be watching for all of this information in the e-Spear. If you have any questions, please feel free to call the church office or to drop us an email, and we'll try to address that question in the best way possible. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.